it down here. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a little more detailed how-to on the way that I cut albacore here at Webb. I've been cutting albacore for, 30 years. The first cut is gonna be from the top of the head all the way down to the bottom of the gill. A great big C. All the way there, all the way through. Now from the top of the ribs, right there, to the forward leading edge of the anal fin, that's gonna be the next cut. Just a straight line, all the way through. Now from here, all the way around, we're gonna be going really shallow. All we're trying to do here is just put a seam around the outline of the fish. Again, using just the very tip of the knife. We don't want to go too shallow as possible. There, now the fish is what I like to call outlined. Now starting right here forward, behind the dorsal fin, I start with the skin right there to get it started, and then get it to here. And then I can grab it and I use the grips that I tie into my knife handle to help me because these albacore are really slippery. And I just take the skin right off, just like that. Now here, these next two cuts, they can be right on top of each other. All we're doing is separating the line of bones that are growing right there up next to the frame. Now from here, we go to the forward edge of that fin, and the tail, the aft section of the loin is now off, and now just one quick sweep right up there. And the loin falls right off. Now here, this loin here, the second loin on the first side, this is the most difficult one because you've got the ribs to deal with here. Now that's cut all the way, and what I do is I separate the rearward part of the loin, and then right here where it comes up, I angle up the tip of my knife and I just come in shallow along the ribs right there. Then I come in with my hand and hold that up and finish all the way in to the spine, and it comes off nice and clean. There's a little bit of leftover meat, but it's so little that it's not even worth talking about. Now that's the only movement that the fish is going to have throughout the whole process. I roll it one time. Now to start the second side, it's going to be a reverse of the first. We want to cut all the way from the top to the bottom. And now we're going to make one more cut from the top of the rib cage to the leading edge of the anal fin. And that's going to complete the belly. The belly comes right off. And I finish that off by getting rid of the breastplate. That's all bone right there. And there you have the belly. Now, same thing here. We're doing just the tip of the knife all the way around the fish. The fish is seamed shallow, and again, I start getting the skin here on the dorsal fin before I start pulling down here. And then again, I grab it with my knife and yank it off. Again, these two cuts are stacked right on top of each other, but they're missing the central bone. And then from here again, we go from the tail to the head. And once I get past this point, the loin just comes right off. You don't even need to use the knife there. And then again from here, the last loin is a lot easier than the second loin on the first side because you're at a different angle from the ribs. When you're doing the first side, the ribs are towards you. On the second side, the ribs are away from you. So you have the ability to lift up the loin as you're coming off the fish. You just use the tip of the knife. Make one pass, two pass, and then the third pass, you can release the whole thing. And that's it. There's a head, there's a little bit of meat left over because that's a tough cut to get all the time. But that's how I do it. And I've been doing it that way for a long time, and I've shown a lot of people how to do that. And if you or anybody else knows a quicker, more efficient, cleaner way of doing it, I would love to see it. I'm open to new ideas, and if it's possible, I'd like to see it. So we're going to do another fish. This one here looks like it's had a tough day. And we're going to show the differences. We're going to see if this is I think we got a little bit of fish hole rubbing here. Not so much flopping on the deck, because the fish isn't scratched up. This looks more like post-mortem to me, but we're gonna cut into it and we're gonna see. I notice here the scales are all, that's what happens, that's what it looks like when it's got no scales. So again, I'll do this a little bit quicker, but the cuts are the exact same. Shallow cuts on the outline. Start peeling the skin on the dorsal fin. This right here is a case of looks could be deceiving. I think that these fish were in a tote or in a fish box, some sort, you know, like the fish boxes on a boat with water. Because these fish are primo. They look like they're hammered from the outside, but they're not. That's from just rubbing in the fish hole. I don't know the gentleman or lady who brought these fish in, but this is a case, if you can't judge a fish by the outside, I think it would be tough to get a buyer to buy one of these fish if it were a commercial fish. But looking at the loins coming off of this thing, this fish is in fine shape. Like I said, I think this is fish hole damage. That's all it is. It's not from the throes of death. And there you have it. Again, I'll do one more. Just because this is a how-to video, I'll go a little slower again this time. Just basically repeat the first fish from the top of the head all the way to the bottom notch. Top of the rib cage all the way through. From there all the way down to the anal fin. Anal fin to the tail, up and over. From the back of the dorsal fin to the tail, and then from the tail to the head, shallow. That's all we're trying to do is separate the skin. Start peeling the skin by the dorsal fin. Once you get it started, it comes right off. Again, stack these two cuts right on top of each other. From head to tail, and then from tail to head. Just like that. Again, from tail to head. And then we back off and we come in shallow just to get the tip into where those ribs are. And then we'll hold up the loin and go all the way into the backbone. Flip the fish to one time. Again, from the bottom of the fish to the top of the fish, sever that cut. Top of the rib cage, forward edge of the anal fin. So that separates right out. Again, we're just going to outline. These shallow cuts are for a reason. So when you peel, if you cut too deep, what happens when you peel the skin off, it tends to pull a lot of the meat with the skin. If you only make a shallow cut, all of that meat that would come out otherwise is hanging onto the skeleton of the fish still. And again, right on top of each other. And then from the tail to the beginning of that fin, and then the rest of it, it just comes right out. Again, once you start that cut, you can hold the loin up off the board and away from the fish and just bring the tip of the knife in and it comes right off. And there you have it. Again, if anybody knows any better way, I'd love to see or hear about it.